Hello, it's Icy. I am back with something very exciting. It's the pre-launch coverage of Morrowind, the new expansion for Elder Scrolls Online. Yes, we are going back to Vvardenfell. I am one of the lucky people who's been invited to make content for this pre-launch period. So let's jump right into it. This video is on how to create a new character. It is very specifically aimed at somebody who has never played Elder Scrolls Online before. It's aimed at you, if you're watching right now, to encourage you to come and join us. Yes, because it is a lot of fun here. Now, when I started playing Elder Scrolls Online back at the start, I had very little MMO experience. In fact, maybe just a couple of hours kind of thing, not much at all. I really wanted to play this specifically because it was back in my beloved Elder Scrolls universe. But I feel very comfortable with all of the MMO aspects, and I invite you to come and try it as well. So let's get started creating a new character. Now, some of the things I'm really going to concentrate on, the things that are not super important right now, that you can just sort of pick whatever, and the things that you will not be able to change at all and that you need to make a decision on now before you get going in the game. So first things first, choose your gender. It is binary, male and female. Pick one. I will say you do need to watch this person running around a lot, because mostly you will play in third person. You can certainly play in first person as well, so you know that's an option. It's easier to play in third person, so you will be watching them. So do pick somebody you want to keep watching all the time, so keep that in mind. The next thing is your alliance. Now, previously, when the game launched, your alliance meant these are the people that you can quest with. This is not a thing now. You can be in different alliances to your friends and go on quests, do things at the same time, do dungeons, do all sorts of things. What you cannot do is, if you are in different alliances, is be in Cyrodiil, so that's the worldwide PvP, or the Imperial City, which is part of that, and be on the same team. You can only PvP. This is not Battlegrounds, by the way. This is very strictly player versus player in the large arena of Cyrodiil and the Imperial City. You can only PvP with somebody in your alliance. You will be fighting the people in the other alliances. So if you have friends who are in, for example, Ebonheart Pact, as I am, and you want to be on their side, you need to choose your character to be part of the Ebonheart Pact. So do keep that in mind. It is not something that can be changed later on. You can, of course, have a new character in a different alliance. That's no problem at all, but you will have to go through the process of leveling them up again. So that's the one proviso there. The next thing you pick is your race. Now, I do have the version that allows me to pick any race with any alliance. Your version may be restricting you to having one of these three if you pick the Ebonheart Pact, or one of these three if you pick this one, or one of those ones if you pick that one. There is also the Imperial Edition, which I have, which allows you to pick an Imperial character as well. The Imperial characters are good. They're fine. They're good if you want to play maybe a tank or a Dragon Knight. Is it an essential purchase? Not really. I do like the flexibility, though, of having the addition that you can pick any character, any alliance. Now, what you can do is, if your version doesn't have this, after you've created your first character, which you could just do like as a throwaway character, you can go into the Crown Store by pressing the full stop key on a keyboard by default, and then basically purchasing an upgrade. So that is for real money, though, just so you're aware. So we are going to stick with the Ebonheart Pact, because Ebonheart Pact for life. Now, let's have a little look at the different races that we can play. I will say that later on, if you decide that you have picked the wrong race, or for that matter the wrong appearance, or even the wrong name, you can, for crowns, so that's real money, pay to get that changed. You accumulate crowns either by buying them for cash or if you are subscribed to Elder Scrolls Online Plus, which gives you a bunch of benefits. Every month you get some more crowns. So if you're subscribed for a while, as I have been, you just sort of accumulate crowns and then you can use them for these sorts of features. So I have certainly changed my appearance of characters before, but I haven't actually changed race, but you can definitely do that as well. So let's take a look. So we've looked at Imperials, good if you want to play a tank. Now, for somebody who's never played an MMO before, there are 3 main roles-ish, kind of. They're not strict. They're not as strict in Elder Scrolls Online as they might be in other massively multiplayer online games. So, but the idea is a tank is somebody who holds the damage of the boss so it doesn't hit other people. So they wear heavy armor, they can take a lot of hits, but they don't do a lot of damage. The next is your DPS, or your damage per second characters. They might also be called DDs, or damage dealers, in other games. Here they're mostly called DPS. They're the people who actually do the damage. They hit a lot of things, they can... they've got a medium to small amount of armor, but they're the ones who do the most damage of all. And then you have your healers, who heal everybody else in the party, and probably are not doing a great amount of damage. This is if you are playing in a group of 4 in, for example, a dungeon. When you are running around the world, your aim is to be able to do a bit of everything, because you might be running around on your own, you're not necessarily in a group. And all of the content, except for a small selection of group stuff, is most of the overland content in Elder Scrolls Online is perfectly soloable. It's no problem at all. And for that matter, I've done most of my questing solo as well. Occasionally I group up with other people, but 90% of it has been solo, and I have a lot of fun doing it too. So if you want to be a magic user, certainly consider a Breton, which is this one. Orcs, really good for tanks, great with heavy armor, they get a bonus. Not too bad as a damage dealer as well, very good for running around solo in the world. Redguard, excellent damage dealers, and you can see they have bonuses to stamina down here. So stamina is used for sword swinging skills, shall we say, weapon swinging skills would use stamina, where you also have magicka. Magicka is used for casting spells and for using magical staffs to cast the spells with, as a rough idea. Health, for example, on here is literally how many hits you can take before your character dies and respawns and comes back again, because death is not permanent in an MMO. So the High Elves, also very good for magicka characters. The Wood Elf, great with the bow, and good for stamina based, so weapon hitting thing type characters. Khajiit, another good one for hitting thing type characters. Though there's no, do feel free to mix and match. There's no, you don't have to feel in Elder Scrolls Online that if you wanted to play a Khajiit, you could only do a sneaky bow wielding character. My Khajiit is a sorcerer who also uses a two-handed sword, because that's the way I want to play, and it's working very nicely as well. So the Argonians, excellent as both tanks, so taking the damage, and healers as well. Dark Elves, lots of fun. I certainly played a Nightblade Dark Elf for most of my time in Elder Scrolls Online, so as a damage dealer, super good. Also a great magic user as well, especially if you're using fire type spells. A Nord, good as a tank, good as a damage dealer, also lots of fun. So pick one of those. It's not super important which one you pick. You can pick an orc and be a magic user. That's absolutely fine. If you change your mind later on and find that you need that teeny bit of extra sort of bits coming from down here because of your racial attributes, you can change later on. So what I would say is, if you are a new person playing for the first time, pick what sounds cool, pretty much. So we are going to pick a Dark Elf, because this is Morrowind. We've got to pick a Dark Elf. Okay, so class, the next most important thing. You also cannot change your class. If you want to try a different class, you will have to create a new character. So Dragon Knights, so these are not quite the same classes that you would find in other games. These have their own spin on them. So Dragon Knights, good if you want to play a tanky creature, tank type person. Also good if you want to play a damage dealer. Templar, excellent healers, and if you want to be a healer, do pick a Templar or a Warden. But Templars are also very good as tanks as well. Sorcerers, really great for damage dealers. Ish for healers. You can sort of get away with it, but they're not as effective as a Templar. So if long term you want to be healing other people in dungeons and you want to get to the end, you do all the top level content, don't pick a Sorcerer as a healer, or a Nightblade, or a Dragon Knight for that matter. But for running around the world in small groups, it's great. Really good. And in fact, if you're not sure about what you're doing and you want something that'll be fairly easy to play, for this time round, I would actually suggest that you pick a Sorcerer maybe as your first class. It's going to have a few bonuses that might make Morrowind just a little bit easier than it would otherwise. So Nightblade. This is great fun. I love my Nightblade. Lots of stealthy, sneaky, stabby in the back type skills. Really fun to play. Excellent damage dealers. Templar, as we said, tanks or healers. Perfectly fine for damage, especially just wandering around the world. Not so great for the super high damage output that you might need for some of the end game content. But if you're looking to have fun, yeah, pretty good for running around on your own. And the Warden. So the Warden is the new class for the Morrowind update. I guess you would call it something like a druid, something like that. It's a bit early to tell what it'll be really good at, but I will say, looking at it so far, lots of fun. It's got pets you can summon and control. It's got a decent healing tree, a decent amount of damage tree, and a decent amount of sort of magicka tree. So I think the Warden's going to be also very flexible. So it would be another great one to pick, and it would be, I think it's probably going to be super fun to play. I am going to pick a Warden. So once you've picked those, and out of those, your class and your alliance cannot be changed. Pretty much everything else can be later on for cash. We're going to look at how to create the character. So you've got this great little slider here, which allows you to change how the body shape works. So you can go from fully muscular to super thin. That's really thin. To really broad and anywhere in between. So, and like, the only thing is, like, that's not exactly what I would call large. Certainly the female models, there are harder limits on the amount of flexibility you get with the body than there are on the male models. So I think we're going to go part muscular. That looks pretty good. Let's go muscly. Alright, so we have a lot of height. Not very high or very short. Nicely, you can, your horse scales to your height. So if you have a tiny little wood elf, you also have a tiny little horse, and it's really cute. Anyway, so skin color. So dark elves have grey coloured skin, dark skin. So let's pick, I think I like that one, which is a slightly browner shade. So we have scars, tattoos, all sorts of stuff. Burn scars, slice scars, alliance tattoos, all over tattoos. We've got all sorts of things here. Oh wait, hang on. Oh wait, that's the Redoran bug. Oh, okay. Right, let's check that. Redoran is one of the houses, groups of in-world characters in Morrowind, so we will take that one. Okay, so you have chest, sort of, you know, like rib cage size, bust size, gut size, which is Not a lot of variation here for the women, but for the men you can get yourself quite an impressive beer belly if that's something that you wanted. Waist size. Okay, so one thing I will say, this will sound a bit odd, is you do want to increase your hand size and your foot size. This will sound odd, but certainly in Elder Scrolls Online, most of the armors have, in fact I could probably do this. Yeah. So these kind of sections on the side that you clip your weapons through, and that proportionally, if you have small feet on your character, looks very odd. So do pick your biggest possible foot size. So next is the face. So let's turn that back there so we can see the face. So once again, you've got this cool triangle effect where you can choose how your face is going to look. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. I like that. You've got voice. Oh, that's right. Done. You will be listening to the voice quite a lot. It doesn't say anything, but every time you hit something in battle, you will hear one of those bits, so do pick one you like. That's quite important. Hair color. So we have bright colors, but we don't have fluoro colors, shall we say. There's nothing here that is sort of, I guess you'd call, created with a dye. Everything is pretty much just like normal hair, because they obviously haven't introduced magical hair dye yet. You've got age sliders, so you can get like a seriously old character if you want. Adornment. So we have a bunch of earrings and what's that nose ring? That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, that's good. Hang on, hairstyle is up here. I've missed it. Oh, I like it. That's good. Oh, do you want to go bald? So you've got a bunch of hairstyles of all sorts of things. Mohawks, pushed back, braids. I quite like the Roman one. The Roman style. That's usually my favorite, actually. But I think this time, actually we're going to go bald. Oh, that's right. All the way over here, we've got we've got some nice pulled back hair, different sorts. We've got flowers in his. Oh no, that's right. Flowers are elsewhere. Under adornment, you can have flowers. Oh, maybe we'll have a flower. A white flower? I don't know where that's tucked behind. Alright, let's go back to the one we had. So, yeah, that one. So you get quite a few different options. The color of your adornment is related to the color of your hair. So you can see I've changed the sort of bronze hair, and it's changed the color of the adornment to match, which is cool. You've got a bunch of sliders to modify how the face looked. For right now, I won't worry about it. You've got eye color changes. As a dark elf, you get red colored eyes, which is kind of cool. So I think we'll probably. Whoa, yeah, let's do that. That's cool. I like it. You can change your eyebrow shape, but honestly, I think that's totally working for her. Yeah, so as you can see, and you can change your tip, how far out your elven ears go, where they sit on the head, how big they are, all sorts of stuff. So you've got a lot of flexibility here. So, and then once you've done that, if you don't care, you've just got randomize appearance, you can also lock off the things that you like and then choose randomize for everything else, and keep doing that until you find something you like as an option too. So once you've got that, you need to have a character name. So it needs to be at least 4 letters, I think. Can we do that? Or can we just do that? Nope, name's already in use, so we can't do that. Let's try this. Oh, got it. Okay, that's fine, because this is not a copy of this is a copy of the European server currently. So obviously there's nobody on the European server called -icy, so easy. So that's how you create a new character, the things you need to look for when you are creating a new character, the things you can change and the things you can't change. So let me know what you think below. You'll notice, if you have created a character in Elder Scrolls previously, that we were standing on a boat. Yes, we were. It's different. So, let me know what you think. Anyway, we'll come back to this next time. So, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.